Welcome to Leadership Speak, an advanced Toastmasters club for leadership development. We are one of the top 5 clubs globally. I am the Sergeant at Arms today. My name is Irene Sadia. Give me a minute. Our club mission: we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which our members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leadership Speak is the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focused primarily on leadership development in everything we do. Our timer has a virtual hand raised so we all can immediately see who is keeping the time. Our Toastmaster today is Rozy Rana, DTM. Rozy has been a Toastmaster for the last 19 and a half years. She has 2 DTMs, both in the Legacy Program and Pathways. Rozy is a founding district director for District 114, East Africa, and a recipient of the coveted presidential citation from Toastmasters International. Away from Toastmasters, Rozy runs a coffee factory by the name Dormans. And about a month ago, she graciously allowed a few of us, I think about 6 of us, to visit her factory and see what goes on in there. And so what that did for us at a personal level, my family no longer takes any other coffee except Dormans. And why? Because we know the integrity and we can trust the coffee, we trust the process, we trust the quality, and we have full assurance of the health and safety standards. Why? Because I saw it for myself. And that ties in very well with our theme today. So welcome with me, Rozy Rana, DTM, our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very, very much, Sergeant at Arms. I am humbled and honored. Today, fellow Toastmasters, we are on a journey to explore the essential qualities that leaders need to develop or strengthen so that they can accelerate their impact and make meaningful change. Welcome, distinguished guests, fellow Toastmasters. For the guests, we really want to hear from you. We want your feedback. We want to know you and connect with you. Please enter your details on the link in the chat, and we will be in touch. One of our EXCO members will be in touch. Back to the theme. Leadership is about influence, about making an impact and integrity. I like to view leadership and the qualities that a leader must have through 3 dimensions. And those 3 dimensions are the head, the heart, and the soul. I'll discuss just 3 qualities for each one of these as we kick off the meeting. The head, or perhaps better known as cognitive capabilities or qualities. The first is being a visionary. Great leaders set goals. They're focused on the goals and align their teams to achieve those goals. The second head capability or cognitive is critical thinking. Members of leadership Speak are so fortunate because we are constantly being coached on critical thinking. Critical thinking enables a leader to look at different perspectives and thereby make fair, unbiased, strategic plans to achieve desired outcomes. The third cognitive ability is decisiveness. Do you sometimes sit on a fence? Leaders need to be decisive, and for that, they need to gather information. They need to think through the facts, analyze all the options and the alternatives, and then have the courage to take action. So that takes care of the head. What about the heart? The heart and connectivity. At Toastmasters, we cannot overemphasize the importance of communication. Leaders are good communicators. If we look around the world today, there's so much conflict. Conflict comes about because of poor communication. Communication helps one to build healthy relationships, foster team collaboration. So, communication is a key quality that leaders must have. Second is empathy. Stephen Covey, who's well known in the leadership circles, said in his fifth habit, seek first to understand and then be understood. Empathetically, leaders always seek to understand. They put themselves in the shoes of the other party. It builds trust, and empathy is critical for good leaders. The third heart quality is the quality of storytelling. Some might think that communication and storytelling are one, but no, storytelling is an art, a skill, and once you acquire this quality, it is so powerful because
Mm. Looks like we have a technical problem here for a little while, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Zoom Master, if you can spotlight me next to Rozy. Thank you. And just keep spotlighting Rozy and next to me while we continue this meeting. Are you able to spotlight Mr. Zoom Master? If you can unmute yourself and communicate with me.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Are you able to spotlight Rozy next to me?
I'm not able to see her here at the
Did
moment.
she drop out?
I think,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, looks like our Toastmaster of the day has dropped out. A weak connection. She's
Yeah.
speaking from Nairobi, Kenya, and so there's a little bit of a hitch going on. What we will do is I will just step in and continue the meeting for her on her behalf until she steps back in. I'm the president, the founder, and the vice president of education of this club. So I think I know a little bit about what's going on today. So we were talking about the traits and the qualities of a leader. That's what Rozy was talking about. And she was mentioning the head and the heart. And in the heart, she was mentioning communication and empathy as part of being a leader. And I don't know, of course, her full script as to what she was going to be talking about, the full theme. However, while we are here, there's a link in the chat for our guests, dear guests. Please feel free and be at home. Welcome to Leadership Speak, and please sign in the guest book. The link is right there in the chat. So head over to the chat, and then Odero has posted the link again. So if you can do that for us, that'd be great. The agenda as well has been posted in the chat. If somebody can repost the agenda while I'm talking, so that those who arrived a little bit later can have access to the agenda as well. So can somebody post that agenda? It was posted earlier. I'll see if I can double duty here as well and try and post it. I think I can. It was easy. There you go.
I'm
So,
doing it, sir.
okay, thank you very much. So the agenda is in the chat for your reference, ladies and gentlemen. And so the next person that Rosie was going to call was our toast for the day after her theme introduction. So we will go on with the toast for the day. And I'm just trying to open my my part of the agenda here so I can see what exactly is on the agenda for the toast. So to raise the toast, we have Nocawe Nkosi. Hi, Nocawe, how are you? Can you please spotlight Nocawe here for me?
I'm good. How are you,
I'm
Toastmaster of
doing
the
well
day?
as well. Thank you very much for coming. You're all the way from where are you? South Africa?
Yes, I'm in South Africa.
Wonderful. And I'm in Canada. And here we are talking. All right. So over to you, Nocawe, to raise the toast. Mr. Zoom Master, spotlighting, please.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, have you imagined the feeling, the zealousness of being led by a self-directed leader? You know, when I talk about the self-directed leader, I mean a leader that has got a vision that is clear for everybody, a person who's compassionate, who's full of empathy. When I refer to a self-directed leader, I mean the person who leads from the heart, who makes sure that he or she connects with fellow team members regularly, who affirms the fellow members by regularly offering feedback that is focused and that is meaningful. When I talk about a self-directed leader, I mean the leader who shows others that they are needed by continuously connecting with them. As leaders, we need to lead from the heart, not by the head. It needs to be authentic. People should feel that you are part of them when you lead them, so that they can easily learn from you, so that they can be influenced by your actions. With those few words, leaders, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I propose that we toast to the self-directed leaders. I request that we unmute. I believe your classes are charged. And after unmuting, we just toast to the self-directed leaders.
To the
Self-directed
leaders.
Thank you so much. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very, very much, Nocawe, for that heartfelt toast from a true leader who believes that one should lead from the heart. We saw qualities in Toastmaster where even as I got booted off by technology, someone came in to my rescue and everything moved smoothly and the meeting continues. I was discussing various qualities and I believe I reached the quality of storytelling, which is a heart quality. I will continue because the third set of quality, which relates to the soul or the character, are very important. And without them, they set the foundation, and without them, you really can't get leaders. The first is integrity. Leaders must lead with integrity, with honesty, with authenticity. The second is resilience. In leadership and in life, things will happen. Life may not go as you plan, but leaders must have the resilience to bounce back. They must keep the momentum. They must be able to look at setbacks as opportunities. So resilience is an important quality that leaders must exhibit. And the third character that I want to talk about is humility. As leaders, we are on a lifelong journey. And as a result, chances are high that you will accomplish on your way. You will have many achievements. But leaders should not be arrogant. They need to be grounded. And most importantly, leaders need to be humble to show humility and appreciate that leadership is about service. Today, my dear friends, I have a great team of leaders who embody many of these qualities to different degrees, but each one of them recognizes and realizes that we are always going to need to strengthen, we always need to develop these qualities so as we can make greater impact. To have meaningful impact, leaders will continue developing various qualities. We've had our toast for the day, and I will now move on to our leadership education speaker. Before I do that, I want to remind all the guests there's a link in the chat. We welcome you. We want to know you. We want to connect with you. Please fill up the link. Please sign the forms so that we can connect with you. Enjoy the meeting, and we will be looking forward to your feedback at the end of the meeting. At Leadership Speak, we always begin with an education speaker. This is a professional speech which goes on anywhere between 15 to 25 minutes, depending on the speaker's objective. And today, our speaker, Luciano, is a proactive leader who takes initiative. And how do I know this? I know this because Luciano reached out to me 2 weeks before today's meeting. He wanted to make sure he was prepared. Again, a quality that shows dedication to excellence. Before I invite Luciano to deliver his speech, I'd like to call upon his evaluator, Sabnam Saiyed, to share with us the purpose of Luciano's project. Sabnam, over to you.
President, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmaster, specifically Toastmaster Luciano. Good evening from my side of the world. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. All the best and over to you.
Thank you very, very much. So Luciano today is delivering a project from the leadership development path. This is the leadership level 5 project. Luciano is going to be speaking to us about qualities of leadership. Qualities of leadership, Luciano, over to you.
Reading yesterday that around 80% of the people that quit their job, the reason is because of their boss. They don't quit their job because they don't want to work anymore, because they quit because of their boss. Do you believe in that? Raise your hand if you believe in that statistic. That around 80% of people that quit their job, it's because of their boss. It's because of their leader. I see. I believe in that. Because I was one of those individuals. That's why it's really important for you to have those leadership qualities, because you are leading people. At the end of the day, there are certain qualities that you need to have. There are certain qualities that people need to see in you so that they can work with you. And that's leadership qualities. That's extremely important. But when we start talking about leadership, at the end of the day, we need to define it. What is leadership? We always talk about leadership, but what is it? When one looks at leadership, etymologically, the word leadership comes from the English language leader. Leader, that means the person who leads or the person who brings forth. That's the meaning of leader leadership. And you need to have that when you are leading people. It's extremely important to have those qualities. When Stephen Covey wrote his book, The 8 Habits from Effectiveness to Greatness, he did a poll to find out what are the qualities of a leader. What comes to your head when you hear the words quality of a leader? What do you think would be the number one quality? Can I get one person to come off mute and share what you would think would be the number one quality from a survey? What do they expect from a leader?
Listening.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Listening.
Listening. That's important.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness. That's very good.
Empathy.
Empathy. That's good. Thank you very much for suggesting. As you see, there are many qualities to leadership. However, there's one aspect when it comes to leadership. The qualities you value as the number one might be different from other people, what they value as leadership. In that survey, when Stephen Covey was writing his book, The 8 Habits, he did the survey, and around 54,000 people responded to that survey on what qualities do they expect from a leader. And the number of qualities that they expect from a leader, number one, many numbers of qualities, I'm just going to touch on 6 of them. You have decision maker. You have to be able to make decisions. Do you agree with that? If you agree, raise your hand. That's one quality that you want to see in a leader. The other one is caring, the one that cares for the people that work for him. It's important. The other one is visionary. The leader needs to be visionary. It needs to see. The other quality, he has to be people focused. Because at the end of the day, that's extremely important. You have to be people focused. Other qualities that he touched on, output of the survey is communicator. You have to communicate. The other quality was integrity. From the qualities that I shared, which one do you think is number one from that survey? Unmute yourself and go ahead and say, from your perspective, from the 6 qualities that I mentioned, which one do you think was number one from that survey? I see people focus. Rana, that's the one. Who else? Unmute yourself and share. Don't be, okay? From that survey, the number one quality was integrity. Integrity was the number one quality. Ask yourself, why? Would around 54,000 people would say that integrity is the number one priority? Are you able to follow someone that doesn't have integrity? Someone that says he's going to do something and he doesn't do it? Imagine that. As a leader, you say you will do something and you don't do. And then you ask, you demand on the people you lead to do the thing that you don't do, you don't have any integrity. So that's the number one skill that people expect from a leader. And then what's integrity? Can you develop integrity? Is it important? Can you develop? People value integrity. You can say integrity is not top one, but however, one of the skills of leadership is for you to be able to listen to what the people are saying. See it from their perspective, but also not forgetting your perspective. If integrity is important, then you ask yourself, how do I build integrity? How do I build integrity? Integrity, in simple terms, is doing what you say you will do. Keep up your promises. When it comes to integrity, there's a one aspect that we can look an example regarding integrity. It's regarding kids. When you have kids at home, you tell them, don't do this. And the very thing that you're telling them not to do, you are doing. What do you think will the kids do when you tell them not to do that? Your son will say, you are doing it. That's why I'm doing it. That's why it's very important when you are raising kids, you need to have integrity. Why? Because they will do not what you say, but what you actually do. They will follow what you do, not what you say. Because you need to have integrity, not only on your personal life, but in the professional life also. Integrity is extremely important. When you say, I'm gonna finish this project in 2 weeks' time, you go ahead and you finish that in 2 weeks' time. What's gonna happen when you promise something and you keep all those promises? What's gonna be the narrative when people talk about you? They will say, no, Joao, Luciano, he always does what he says is going to do. And he's a person of integrity because what he says, he accomplishes. That's extremely important. This is something that we can build ourselves. As leaders, we listen to what people value and we also build that ourselves. That was number one quality, integrity. The number two quality from that survey was communicate. How can you develop a vision? How can you lead people if you cannot communicate with them? You have to be able to get people to listen, visualize, so that they can see your perspective. But in order to do that, you have to communicate. You have to come closer to them and be able to share with them so that they can see your perspective. And then you come back. Then you're able to build rapport with the person. It's communicator. Communication makes a difference. And it's a number two quality that it's expected from a leader. You need to build that. How do you build communication? You have to know how the other person communicates. We all heard about the colors. The colors where people are classified as green, red, yellow. And those colors are according to how people behave. There are people that do like listen to data. There are people that react to emotions. There are people that react to facts. So when you're communicating, you have to know the person that you're communicating with, what's the type of language that he likes to listen. Is it facts or emotions? Then you work on that and you develop the communication. Communication is a two-way thing. Whatever you communicate, you have to see the impact on the person and then calibrate that. That's extremely important. As you develop in this quality, you develop integrity, you develop the communication part. Then the following one is people focus. What does it mean to be people focused? A good example to that is when you think about Gandhi. When you speak about Gandhi, when you speak about Nelson Mandela, what comes into your mind? What comes into your mind? Think about it. When you hear those two names, Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, they sacrificed their life for the people. They were people focused. You need to focus on the people as a leader because you lead. And when you lead, you need to be focused on those people. What do they need? And then there's the other aspect is you have to be visionary. Number 4. What does it mean to be visionary? This brings me to one favorite saying of Einstein. Einstein said that imagination is more powerful than knowledge. When we say visionary, it's not only what the eyes can see, but what the mind can see. To be visionary, you don't limit yourself to see with the eye. You use the mind. When you are leading people, one of those qualities, visionary, you have to be able to see in people what they don't see in themselves. Let me repeat that. When you're leading people and you are a visionary leader, you have to see those qualities in people that they don't see in themselves. And then you develop it. That's what it means to be a visionary leader. Don't limit yourself just from what you see with your eyes. The eyes can only see up to the horizon, but your mind, there's no limit to it, what you can see with the mind. That's a quality that one has to work as a leader. It's important. Develop it. Because once you can develop that vision, people will follow you. An example to that is the US President Kennedy. When he set out a vision for America to put a man on the moon within a decade, he developed a vision. And everybody rounded up to that vision to make it possible. You have to be visionary. After that, there's the other quality, which is caring. You need to carry for the people that you're working with, the people that you're leading, not only professionally, but personally also. As Gandhi once said, is you cannot be a good leader in one area and bad leader in another area. You cannot be a good leader professionally and be bad leader personally in your life, in your family. You cannot. So, which means for you to be a true leader, you have to be a leader in all the aspects of your life, personally, professionally, socially, because there are principles that you have to develop. Leadership has no bounds. You have to be caring. Number 6 in that survey was decision maker. Decision maker? Do you believe that you need that skill to be a leader? Raise your hand if you believe in that you need to be a decision maker to be a quality leader. I see that. I believe it. And I was witness to that when I started working in the company that I'm working today. One of the general manager in the company, he told me in my first few days, he told me, Luciano, you know what makes a difference between all the managers that are here? Is the courage to make decisions. And what you find is the people that are on top, they are not afraid to take decisions. You have to be a decision maker. And I witnessed that in the job where we were going to a turnaround where the plant had to stop and do maintenance in it. There was one particular work that would increase the time of the turnaround and increase the price of the turnaround. Nobody wanted to make the decision. And my boss, he said, now see, this is the time where you justify the pay that you earn as a leader. You have to make the decision and justify it. Explain to everybody, why are you taking this decision? It has a big impact, but you have to take the decision. You have to take the heat. You take the responsibility. That's extremely valuable. If you are a leader and you cannot make a decision, what's going to happen? The people that follow you come to you and you can't make a decision. What do you think they will think of you? As a leader, you cannot make a decision. You can build that decision maker capability within you. But how do you do that? You have to think critically. At the end of the day, you look at the problem, you look at the situation, you see what's the end goal, what's the objective. And the objective is going to help you to make the decision. Because you need to see what's valuable for you, what's important for you. If you're looking for financial, you're looking at the cost, or you're looking at the health. An example of this is in our daily lives. We have to make a decision if we're going to live a healthy life where we exercise and eat healthy food so that when we get older, we're still healthy and we don't have to depend on medicines. But you have to make that decision. And the earlier you make it, the better. But look at the aspect, you look at the financial part of it, health-wise, you make a decision. Those are extremely important qualities of a leader. As a leader that you are, build on those qualities, because only when you build through them as you grow as a leader. Thank you very much. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very, very much, Luciano, for those timeless qualities, for qualities that truly matter, from integrity all the way to decision making. You also shared examples of leaders who we can all think of and remember as leaders who truly epitomized leadership because of those qualities. Thank you again for those wise nuggets. I now would like to invite our timer to share with us the timekeeping report and how she's going to go about it. Irene Sadia not only tracks time today, but she's modeling leadership by taking on 2 roles, showing that a leader can perform multiple roles and wear multiple hats. Over to you, Irene.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. As timer, I will be timing the speeches, the evaluations according to the agenda, and I will post the report in the chat when called upon. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Irene, and we look forward to the reports on the chat in due course. I now invite our grammarian, Gweda Felix, to give us the word of the day and share with us what she will be looking out for. Over to you, Gweda.
Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, greetings. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. It is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. And for today's meeting, the word of the day is finesse. Finesse, which means skillful handling of a situation. In other words, an adroit maneuvery. As an example of using the word, he delivered his evaluation with great finesse, which prompted the speaker to be receptive to his recommendations. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. I will give the report when called upon at the end of the meeting. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much. Delivery of a role or the explanation of a role with such finesse. I thank you. So unlike that blackout that pulled me out with least consideration to finesse here. We now move on to our speakers. Our first speaker of the day today will be Marie Cusin. Marie Cusin has learnt many, many lessons through adversity, and these have made her truly appreciate the value of the quality of resilience. But before we discuss the details of Marie's project today, I will invite her evaluator, Yusli Joseph, to tell us about the purpose of her project, and we'll go on to the title. Over to you, Yusli.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Greeting, colleague Toastmasters and guests. Toastmaster Marie will present a speech on the project on Icebreaker project. And this purpose of this project is for her to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. And she will have 4 to 6 minutes to present this speech. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much for that, Yusli. So very much looking forward to Marie Cusin's Icebreaker. Marie Cusin is delivering from the Motivational Strategies Path Level 1, a Level 1 project. And the title of her project is, What are your 5 best moments in life? What are your 5 best moments in life, Marie Cusin? Over to you.
Mary, have you joined with some other name? I'm not able to see you.
Have we not got the speaker in the room? I thought I had seen her earlier.
I don't think she is there.
Okay.
Because
Fine.
maybe she has a different name.
Okay. As we try and locate Marie Cusin, allow us to move on to our next speaker. And we will come back to the speaker after that. Our second speaker today is Nikhita Winkler. Nikhita, a talented dancer. She draws many parallels between dancing and leadership. The art of dancing and the art of leadership have together made her a graceful and elegant leader. This symbiotic relationship is one she thrives on. Bless you. I will invite her evaluator, Rivero, to tell us more about her project. Over to you, Ray.
Thank you very much, Rozy, for that bit of finesse in managing this meeting. Today, I will be evaluating Nikhita's speech, which is going to be the use of descriptive language. It's more than just adding the language to increase interest and impact and engaging the audience, which we agree that that's one of the features that she wants to do, but she wants to determine what worked in her speech, what didn't, and any takeaways in the conclusion. And finally, did the audience understand her message in this speech? So let's hear what finesse that Nikhita is going to present today in her speech. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very, very much for that, Ray. So Nikhita will be delivering a project from her path presentation mastery. And the title of her speech today, which is a level 3 project, is The Power of Stillness. The Power of Stillness, Nikhita Winkler.
We are endlessly doing, moving, tirelessly laboring, striving, relentlessly working, producing, creating, hustling. We are in perpetual action. Non-stop thinking, constantly solving, planning, habitually worrying, yearning, aspiring, and this we call being alive. Don't be fooled, my friends. This non-stop action is numbing our capacity to feel what is truly alive within and around us. This ceases doing is a coping mechanism so that we don't have to feel our sadness, anger, frustration, fear, worry, anxiety, shame, guilt, disappointment, jealousy, envy, loneliness, grief, embarrassment, regret, resentment, helplessness, hopelessness, happiness, joy, euphoria, love, and bliss. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, know that the solution is simple and powerful, and it lies in you to give yourself the permission to pause more often during your day, to let go, to surrender, and perhaps enter the stillness and the weightlessness of Savasana. Savasana is a yogic position, a posture where you lie flat on your back with your legs and your arms relaxed with your palms facing up. The Savasana is a moment to retreat into non-doing. It is also known as the corpse pose, and it is the most important position after a yoga practice. It is an act to surrender, let go, release, and enter complete stillness. This Savasana is also a symbol for dying, a metaphor for life, death, and rebirth, like the cycle of our everyday rhythm. And the purpose of the Savasana is to restore balance to the body's nervous system and to reawaken the true aliveness within you. So yeah, even though Savasana is a yogic position, it's not just for yoga, it's not just for yogis. And you don't have to lie flat on your back to enjoy the benefits of a Savasana. In fact, in my everyday, I take Savasanas when I step outside of the shower, or after a rewarding workout at the gym, or I have some moments of Savasanas when I step out of work and take in the fresh air before I pick up my phone. But my favorite time to just feel the sensation of stillness and surrender are those moments when my husband and I hug each other, and for a little while I can just die in his arms. This Savasana is here for all of us to enjoy its benefits. And I am testifying that a life filled with Savasana and intentional pauses is a life of finesse, more presence, more consciousness, more intention. It's the pauses that have taught me that I can create more time in my day and energy. I can revitalize myself, and I have capacity for what truly matters. So if you're ready to invite more stillness into your life, here are 5 places in which you can begin to pause, reflect, and recharge. Number 1 is when you begin your day. Instead of abruptly getting out of bed, stay still in bed with your eyes open. Stretch into your body. Breathe into the day and feel what is the rhythm of this day. It's also recommended, if you want to remember your dreams, to take moments of stillness after you wake up. Number 2, between meetings. It's so often that we go from one meeting into the next. Reclaim that moment so that you can step out and breathe. Claim it for yourself, because when we take these moments between meetings, we actually align with our intention for the next meeting, and we can step into that next meeting with more clarity and presence. Number 3, after work, don't just go home. Empty your cup first. This is a very important moment to take for yourself to release your cup from a very stressful or intense day at work. And guess what? When you try to do this, whether you take a walk after work or whatever you do, it makes you more present with your family. Number 4, when you are experiencing intense emotional states, remember this. You need to feel it to free it. So taking a moment of stillness to sit with your emotions and let them go through you, that is going to help you take off the weight of this overwhelm. But it also leads to emotional intelligence, and it fosters healthier relationships and better mental health. And finally, the fifth most important is at the end of your day, when you have absorbed so much, you have endured a ton, you have learned quite a bit, and you have experienced a mountain. At the end of the day, you need you. And this is the most important Savasana, just like at the end of our yoga practice. It helps you to prepare for a restorative deep sleep and to digest your day. And if you don't, maybe you go to bed with the same mind full and wake up the same person. So remember, the true power of living living an awakened life lies not in endless, ceaseless, constant doing, but in these moments of stillness that help you to connect with what is truly awake within you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Nikhita, for that inspiring speech. it makes me also realize while I do reflect and I do take stillness and a pause at the end of the day, especially, perhaps not all those 5 times, there's another time when you want to be still and pause after a powerful speech just to absorb it in. Thank you again for that. We now move on to Marie Cusin, who unfortunately had not been in when her evaluator introduced her. Nonetheless, Marie Cusin will be delivering her icebreaker. The objectives and the purpose of the icebreaker have already been shared with us. So we'll invite Marie Cusin, who is now with me on the stage, to deliver her icebreaker from the Motivational Strategies Path, a level 1 project. And the title of her speech, once again, is What are your 5 best moments in life? What are your 5 best moments in life? Over to you, Marie Cusin.
What are your 5 best minutes of life? The true essence of life lies in those floating moments, the ones we have to power to fill with meaning. It's a lesson I've learned through my own journey, a journey that beautifully illustrates how we seem fragile, uncertain, or broken can become the very source of our strength. I am adopted, originally from India and Bangladesh, and raised by Swiss-French adoptive parents. I grew up believing I had been abandoned, wandering alone at the age of 2. This tragic yet hopeful story was told to me by the organization that facilitated my adoption. But 2 years ago, I discovered that I was all a lie. I was not abandoned. I was stolen and sold into a global child traffic ring. The organization that seemed to have changed my life was in fact part of an international criminal network. This revelation opened my roadway. And yeah, here I stand today, free and peace. How did I overcome this? The answer lies in the human qualities I chose to cultivate. Resilience in the face of adversity, the importance of living in the present, and the power of intention. Resilience in the face of adversity. Growth often comes through adversity. My past wounds become the fertile ground from which I draw inner strength. I chose to see my trials not as chain holding me back, but as stepping stone to grow. The past does not define me. Each challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger. When you face difficulties, you have 2 choices. Be paralyzed by the pain or use it as a lever to move forward. In a world where challenges are constant, the real question is, what do you do with the obstacle in your path? Do you let them crush, or do you transform them into a springboard? I chose the latter, the path where every hardship becomes a lesson in resilience. The importance of living in the present. How often are we trapped in bygone past or projected into an uncertain future? For a long time, I dreamed of finding my biological mother, trying to fill that void with imagined scenario. But the past is an illusion, just like the future. They are constructs our mind, and the key to happiness lies in the present moment. If you knew everything would end tomorrow, what would you do today? The key is to be fully present, to savor every moment, and to live in action. Life is fragile, and it's in this fragility that its greatness lives. What we do today is what really matters. The power of foundation is not just about knowing where we are going, but how we get there. Intention guides our steps. If we are determined to love, create, and innovate, we attract the necessary forces to achieve it. But if we drift passively, we risk missing the true magic of life. The more fragile life, the more precious it becomes. This is how I view my relationship, my work, and my health. Every moment matters. What we do, think, and feel shapes our existence. True wealth lies in how we direct our lives with clear intention and self-love for what we do. In conclusion, there is no past or future. The past is rewritten in the light of the present, and the future remains uncertain. What we have are these precious present moments. Remember, nothing is ever guaranteed. The more fragile life is, the more precious it becomes. Fill your moments with meaning, passion, love, and determination. True wealth is found in the mastery of the present. So, what are your 5 best minutes of life? Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Marie-Cusin. What a deep, thoughtful speech. Reminds me of many moments, but the importance of being present and the fragility of life. Thank you for that. And like a true leader, she talks about resilience and just rising up no matter what and being present. Thank you for those powerful thoughts. Our next speaker is John Ojeifo. John also discusses how, as a leader, one has to be positive and you need strength of character to be able to shut out those negative thoughts. To evaluate John today will be Nicole Miller-Douglas. I invite Nicole Miller-Douglas to tell us about the project's purpose. Over to you, Nicole.
Good morning, good afternoon to everyone, whatever time of day it is for you. Today, John will be presenting his speech on emotional intelligence. I believe every leader needs to have emotional intelligence. The purpose of this project is for John to cultivate an understanding of how his emotion impacts relationships. It is also designed to help John identify how others' emotions impact his emotional state. Another purpose of his speech is that John will share some aspect of his experience journaling his emotions over a period of 2 weeks. When called upon by the general evaluator, I will give my feedback to John and share with you as well. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Nicole Miller-Douglas. Let's hear from John Ojeifo, a Level 3 project from Motivational Strategies. The title of his presentation is garbage-free living. Garbage-free living, John Ojeifo.
In his book titled The Law of the Garbage Truck, David J. Pelot said, many people with garbage trucks are like garbage trucks, running around full of garbage, full of anger, full of frustration and disappointments, looking for someone to dump their trash on. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, when you encounter human garbage truck, do you collide or do you handle them with finesse? Today, I'm going to share with you my encounter with a human garbage truck in a professional setting and how I handled and responded to the garbage. It was in the evening of November 5th this year, a week after I have just started tracking my emotions and their impact on others in a journal for 2 weeks. I had just finished a hard day's work and I was about to close down my computer when suddenly I saw an email coming. I recognized it immediately because it came from my coworker, Casey, and it reads, "We need to talk," in big, bold, and uppercase letters. Strange, I thought, and immediately I felt that something was wrong and that this might be a human garbage truck approaching. Hardly had I finished reading the 4-letter email when my phone rang. And I looked at it, it was her. I picked up the phone and I said, "Hello." But contrary to what she said in her email, she did not want to talk. She was angry, furious, and was insulting. Despite my attempt to calm down and to ask her to calm down, no, she would not. She continued in her tirade. You may recall that I have just, in about a week earlier, I had just started tracking my emotions and their impacts. And now that I'm just about the halfway, I have realized that I need to develop a strategy by which I can manage my emotions, manage my emotions, and self-motivate. Therefore, at this time, I had already created a strategy that I refer to as CARE. CARE is an acronym that stands for C for calm, A for allow, R for rechanneling, and E for engaging or expressing responsively. Now, back to Casey. Despite all my attempts to calm down and let her know that she was yelling, no, she wouldn't have it. And as she continued, I decided to employ my care strategy. I calmed down, taking a deep breath, and then allow her to continue. as I detached myself from the negative utterances she was making, while rechanneling my emotions. Eventually, or lastly, I picked up my tool, a tool that I use to respond. And that tool is a 24-hour waiting tool, a 24-hour waiting room, which allowed me to ask her that I want to drop and to step away. Immediately, and when she did not stop, I informed that I was leaving, and I gently dropped the phone. Now, 2 weeks later, later, we went on the next day, we communicated via text, where she apologized and told me that she was sorry to have insulted me and that she was angry for something and that she shouldn't have treated me like that. I agreed. And so, reflecting back, I realized, I said, woohoo, I have dodged the garbage truck. Now I have been able to use my care strategy to be able to manage myself, my emotions, and self-motivate when I confront others. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, when you confront, when you confront any of your garbage people, do you manage your crisis? How do you manage your crisis? Make sure that you develop a strategy by which you can handle, calm yourself, and self-motivate while discerning the garbage intention and managing her responsibly. In summary, there are angry, frustrated, and disappointed people called garbage trucks everywhere, looking for someone to blame or dump their frustration on. When you encounter garbage trucks, don't collide. Instead, use your care strat tool to manage your feelings, self-motivate, and respond to their emotions appropriately. Calm down, allow the garbage truck to pass, rechannel your emotions, and lastly, employ an appropriate tool to express, respond, or free yourself. We may not have the power to control everything that happens to us, but we do have the power to be able to, we do have the power to have a choice on how we respond. Love those who treat you right. Smile, wave, and pray for those who do not. As Charles R. Swindoll said, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% on how you react. Have an effective strategy to respond to human garbage trucks when they call suddenly. Wishing you all garbage truck free interactions. Back to you, Modern Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster John Ojeifo, on educating us and sharing with us how we can be more positive. I particularly like the fact that you have a strategy which you have used the acronym of CARE How beautiful is that? I hope we can all take from you and learn to live garbage free. It now gives me great, great, great pleasure to invite a dynamic young lady who will, and yes, young I said, who will be taking us through the next section of the meeting. This lady values service to others. She has continued to support and mentor Toastmaster clubs, not just in everyday day-to-day situations and community clubs, but also at prisons. This speaks to how her leadership is rooted in service. She has earned over time the title of Compassionate Queen of Self-Talk. The word compassionate discusses or immediately gets one to think of a powerful quality that she has as a leader, caring. And that is also manifested in how she coaches her, not only paying clients, but also Toastmasters to heights. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Sandra Valks, who will be our general evaluator and will lead the next session of this meeting.
Wow, thank you. I was so busy doing all my little evaluations. I thought, oh my goodness, we finished all the speakers. It's always great. And I was so happy to be teaming up with Rozy. There's the best effort speaker. Maybe we can get that in there as well for the poll before
Thank you for the poll being launched. Yes.
Did you catch the timers for the speakers as well, or the timer report for the speakers?
Yeah, the timer said she'll put them in the chat. I haven't yet seen them. In a minute.
Okay, thank you. There's someone in the guest asking about no table topics. No, we don't do table topics here. It is one of those things that would be fun once in a while. Anyhow, I am so happy to be here as your GE, looking after the evaluators. So this is where I get to evaluate the evaluators. And our first evaluator is Deborah Walker, evaluating our toast, Nocawe Nkosi. Deborah is our member in Regina, and she's currently knee-deep in snow. Otherwise, I asked her about the theme, and she was speechless. She said, I can't think of anything off the moment. I think she's speechless because she carries her heart with her into all the meetings. So, Deborah, if you could please evaluate Nocawe.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. Nocawe, with respect to your toast today, I can tell that you put quite a bit of thought into the content of the toast. That was very well done. Your beginning, when you asked the audience, have you imagined? Imagine is a great word to start with. It really helps draw the audience in. Very, very, very good way to begin the toast. Very good content. Then you said something that really caught my attention. You were basically exhorting the audience and encouraging us to lead from the heart, not the head. And I want to pause on that phrase for a moment because that's actually really hard for leaders to do. It is much easier for a leader to make a decision, to form an opinion on something, pass judgment on something, or take a position than it is to lead from the heart. Because leading from the heart means a sense of care for the other person, which was spoken about in today's meeting. It implies a sense of empathy. It implies a sense of understanding and communicating with another person. And that's not always how leaders interact with people. And I want to commend you, Nocawe, on your encouragement to the audience to lead with the heart and not the head. Very, very well done. In terms of something that you could do to improve for next time, there is one thing. You had very good content, as I already noted, but being on camera is like being under a microscope, and I could tell that you were looking down ever so slightly at your notes and reading off the page. I would encourage you, give yourself a little bit more time once you've got the content down to work on internalizing the delivery so that you can look straight at the camera and deliver your message from your heart. Again, overall, very good content, very well spoken. Just take some time, build some time into your calendar, maybe 15 minutes a day, 3 days a week leading up to when you're presenting, and work on internalizing the delivery so you can speak straight to the heart of your audience. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you. Deborah, what I heard today was a settled down Deborah. Quite often you're just so professional that you're just kind of in there. And today you hooked with me in the heart and still were very grounded. And I think that grounding moved over into a beautiful evaluation of imagine and leading from the heart, not the head. It was very thoughtful. And for the improvement, great little tip about internalizing. I know we all tend to read a little bit because of Zoom, I guess, but it's really important if we can find a way to just have a pointer and move through and trust ourselves. I think that's what you were talking about. Trust ourselves that we're okay and we can internalize it. Thank you so much, Deborah. Evaluating our Toastmaster of the day, Brahm is evaluating Rozy. Look out, Rozy, here comes Brahm. And he says integrity is the key quality of a leader. Thank you, Brahm.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Especially Rozy.
Yeah.
Rozy, thank you for taking on the TMOD role. I know you have a very busy schedule. I wasn't expecting you to take this role on, but you did. We set this up over a month ago, so you had quite a bit of time to prepare everything. One of the things that I want to commend you is that you did prepare well. A week before, you already had your theme ready and the content was ready. For our audience and our guests, why am I evaluating, by the way, the Toastmaster of the day is level 4, managing an online meeting. So that's the project. So a week before you had the content ready for the benefit of our guests here, the Toastmaster of the day and the leadership education speaker, who was Luciano, collaborate on the theme. And the Toastmaster Day speaks only briefly to the theme at the beginning of the meeting, and then Luciano, the education speaker, spoke at length to the theme. So it's a collaborative effort. And Rozy, I noticed that the collaboration was well done. Not only that, but also the word of the day was in line with the theme. However, the toast was not in line with the theme, as you know, so something didn't quite go in the training somewhere along the line. You were not able to attend Thursday, that's fine, but you carried this meeting off very well. Even when your internet broke down and you were thrown out, you came back unfazed and took on the meeting and started running with it like seamlessly. Sure, because you were thrown out and then you came back because you had a power outage. You missed the timer and the grammarian, quite understandably, of course. But you brought them back seamlessly, smoothly. So you are a pro at online meetings. You are a pro at managing online meetings. You're just fantastic. The bridging between the speakers as well was done very well. So before your introductions and during the meeting, you've done very well in terms of managing an online meeting. I would trust you with managing one of those huge events online, not a problem. Thank you very much. Back to you, Sandra.
Thank you, Brahm.
Thank you.
We always look forward. We would probably like to see you evaluating in live a little more often versus the training spots that you bring on. Now, what I was watching was you were gentle, a different format than you usually come in. You came in more gently and explained what you were seeing. You complimented, quite rightly, all of the work that goes in behind that, preparing a month in advance and getting the work out. That's important for us to know. Where I've felt that you went offside on evaluation is that you took your evaluation time to go over instead and educate the guests for things that we do. I think the guests can learn just from seeing how we do and ask the questions afterwards. So you were kind of training the guest about how we do it here. I preferred when you stuck with Rozy and the challenges that she had. Beautifully done. I'm thinking Rozy is probably feeling pretty good about that evaluation. Yes? Thank you. Our next speaker was Luciana, our education speaker, and Sabnam is going to evaluate, and she is a passionate Toastmaster, big on emotional intelligence and an NLP coach. So that sums her up on her quality of leadership from the heart. Sabnam?
Good evening once again from my side of the world, specifically Toastmaster Luciano. Toastmaster Luciano today delivered an informative speech. We all have been listening about leadership, but today Toastmaster Luciano very effectively dissected into the topic and gave a very crisp and precise formula of good leaders. There were certain things that stood out for me, some of them being he gave examples of Nelson Mandela and Mahatma Gandhiji, who are such prominent and well-liked figures and easily understandable. Then, secondly, the basis of his speech was actually the survey or study of 54,000 people on qualities of leaders. The 6 qualities that he explained were easily understood by all. And also throughout, he kept on asking questions. I think he asked 3 to 4 times, and he very patiently waited for everybody's answers. I think 3 to 4 people were answering it to all his questions. This immediately creates a connect with the audience. Whenever he wanted to emphasize on certain point, he came quite close to the screen, so we knew that it was important. And also the anecdotes used throughout his speech, some of them being like people will follow what you do and not what you say, and then eyes can only sail to the horizon and your mind sees beyond. Now, I do have some suggestions for him. Firstly, I don't I don't know if it was just for me, but it was a little difficult for me to hear him. And if it was a bit louder, it would have been a bit more effective and clearer. Secondly, the device was not at eye level. It was placed below, so it was almost like he was looking down on it. And for an online meeting, when you're standing, it's always advisable to elevate your table or put certain things below your laptop so that it raises. Thirdly, pauses. Pauses are a very important part of any speech, but long pauses may lead the audience to lose their interest. Fourthly and lastly, for any effective speech, and specifically for such a long speech, it is very important for you to have a very effective opening, body, and closure. For me, your speech ended very abruptly. You started on a high note. It could have been a bit louder and strong, but I think the ending was not concluded properly. So you could have concluded in a better way. That's all. So yes, for me, very good content, very easily understandable. But yes, you can definitely work on your voice quality. It could be a little louder so that everybody can understand it better. And you can also work on closing your speech effectively. All the best and over to you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Sabnam. I always look forward to your evaluations. Where did the quote go today? Where did that quote go today? Well, education's always a tough one to evaluate in 3 minutes. And it was interesting, the things that you had difficulty with Luciana, the quiet voice, the not being able to quite understand and not having the impact. That was what I was missing from you today, Sabnam. I think that you were going along so quickly. I was not getting the separated points that you normally would make. There was you were into a different kind of a flow, but it took away from the pause and the points. And so I would suggest that you just slow down a little bit yourself. The listening was hard, I would agree with that, but I really was looking for those strong points that would keep it separated out. Other than that, you always listen very well and provide the speaker with lots of things to work on. Thank you, Sabnam. Our next evaluator is Yuseli Joseph. evaluating Marie Cusin. And Yusli says, in a world turned towards more robots and fewer humans. Oh dear. Leaders become Leaders become spokespeople and models for relationships focused on behaviors that enhance humankind. Wow, that's a mouthful. Humans are really necessary to get over that robot business. Yusli, can you please evaluate Marie?
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I'm here to evaluate Mary. Mary, I would like first to congratulate you for this presentation. It was a speech with a deep meaning, and you brought a subject that some people like me who didn't know my mother can relate to, even if it's your own story. And the title itself invited the audience to reflect on their life. You presented your origin and the circumstances that led to the person that you are today and how this affected you. You talk about your dreams, your desire to meet your biological parents, to ask them some important question to you. And you talk as well the challenges that you have to face regarding this truth of your origin. And the most importantly, you talk about how you embrace this aspect of your life and have presented the best way to do it is to live in the present moment. Throughout the presentation, you emphasize and you were very inspiring, motivating. You presented some theme as resilience, the fragility of life, the present moment. It was a very emotional presentation, and we could feel it as well in your voice. You did it with courage and finesse. During our exchange, you asked me to pay attention to your vocal variety. For that, I could recommend you could ask the Toastmaster of the day to call you as the last speaker. For two reasons, you connected late in the meeting, and your speech needed a high level of emotion. So by being the last speaker, you could give yourself time to get to the mood of the meeting. The other aspect that I would recommend you to work on is the using of French words when presenting an English speech. I understand that as a French speaker, I used to do that as well because it's common and it can be unconscious as well to use French word when speaking English. So I would recommend you to be more careful about that. And when you are presenting, to make sure that even if the words are the same in English and in French, to try to repeat it in English. Other than that, congratulations for your presentation, and you had good Zoom presence, good body language, and you presented with finesse, as I said, and courage. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Yusli. I would say that was an evaluation given with lots of finesse. Finesse, finesse, finesse. I think you got 3 times in there. I really liked how you concentrated on the content in this case because it was critical. The title did grab us and you caught that. I'm glad that you came up with so much encouragement because Marie has really grown through her time that I've known her here at Leadership Speak. And it's been amazing to watch that growth and the resilience and the courage. And you could see it and you honored that. Thank you so much. Beautifully done. Thank you. And you had lots of improvements. I mean, that was brilliant to say, just move it to the last speaker spot so you have time after a break. And that might be something that the Toastmaster of the day might just say, okay, we'll just move that one, knowing that we all need something when there's a break in communication in the internet. Thank you so much. Our next evaluator is Rivero, evaluating Nikhita Winkler. And he says, like a speaker connecting to the audience, a leader has to connect to the team. Brilliant. Over to you, Ray.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. Nikhita, when we talked about what I should be evaluating you upon, I took the advice from a former world champion, appropriate for a semifinalist in the World Championships a year or two ago, about paying attention to your message, what worked, what didn't, and the takeaway. You did not make my job easy in evaluating your speech. So here goes. You opened up with staging, where the audience focus on you. Eyes on the camera, blank wall. Now the audience can focus on you, no distractions. And then you opening, you took us off on a very fast ride. A lot of tones, a lot of pitch, a lot of vocal variety to just get the image, and a great example of using your voice to let us know how much life can get us in a hurry, like we were on a canoe or a motorboat in fast running waters. And then you changed it up again. You went from multiple gestures to movements, and that great use of that nonverbal and verbal language to just say, slow down without saying slow down. Just go to pause, to embrace us in stillness, and the use of the pause to emphasize that. What a great way to open and to put in your portions of the speech. Great use of pitch, great use of tone, and I loved how you stepped in the camera to emphasize your key points. A lot of good quotes. Empty your cup. You need you. Now, you've challenged me to suggest some improvements. I would suggest one. Maybe a full body display to show that yoga pose. I know you were a little over on time, so you may not have time, but that leads to a challenge. For this speech, more yoga in the future. Full body pose. Summarize your 5 points. And I loved how you arranged it from the beginning of the day over to the end. Great organization. This is a keynote speech. This is something that I believe an audience would just love to hear more of. How do you go from fast to slow down and pace yourself and let yoga handle the stress? And I think I'll conclude with a quote from Pablo Neruda, or one of his works. I'd like for you to be still. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Ray. I've watched your evaluations change over the time that we've been together as well. And you've really stepped it up, You're into deep, thoughtful evaluation. Beautifully listed your questions at the front, which is good for us to know. And I like that you checked very carefully with Nikhita ahead of time. That was important. Now, you did bring in some humor. I have no idea why you would compare a motorboat and a canoe in fast-moving water. I thought, what's that? But it was fun. And your improvements, you started at green, which is, I think, critical, because we can have all the wonderful things, but if we wait until we're into the yellow and then we start and then we want to do a summary, it doesn't work. So you got it all together, beautifully done. And I do believe that Nikhita has lots of area to improve and certainly has to be feeling really blessed with such an encouraging, positive evaluation. She's nodding her head, yes. Thank you. Next evaluator is Mrinal Kanti Ghosh, evaluating Zara Mahara. No, no, right?
Sandra change.
That was the change. Okay, that was to evaluate. Did we have him evaluating at all then?
No, we will having Nicole only doing for the John.
Okay, sorry. Thank you so much. Got my head in too many places here. Nicole evaluating John. And she says, good morning from Jamaica. Leaders show how they continuously improve by how they lead themselves. And if they want to improve, how they lead others. What a beautiful link together about the qualities. Nicole, we look forward to your evaluation of John Ojeifo. Nicole?
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Don't collide. Use the care strategy, says Toastmaster John. Thank you for that, John. I'll now use that quote and say it's by Toastmaster John going forward. Don't collide. Use the care strategy. I really liked that phrase that you introduced in your speech, John. John, I really liked how you authentically shared with us that one of the elements of leading from the heart is that we must demonstrate emotional intelligence. I loved that. John, you shared with us the care strategy, calm down, allow the garbage truck to pass, rechannel our feelings, and engage the person that you are relating to. I really like your strategy. And I really liked the fact that this project was able to equip you to deal with the garbage trucks that we all have to deal with on a regular basis. You use your personal story, and most importantly, you showed how that personal story was able to allow the person you were relating to reflect and then take corrective action. I really liked that. Now, what I would like you to work on is your timing. You took 9 minutes and 29 seconds when the speech should have taken a maximum of 7 minutes. Though you went over time, today I observe significant improvement in how well your speech flowed in the beginning, but right somewhere along there was a glitch, it seems, and you were trying to regain control and to maneuver your device that you are using to help you deliver a good speech. In conclusion, I would like to recommend that you practice your speech before the delivery and continue to progress in doing your Toastmasters project. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Yes, you picked up on the beautiful construction of the speech, the garbage truck analogy, and those kinds of things give us a little sense of humor, actually, because we think garbage truck and then relate it to something business and professional leadership. So I'm really happy that you picked up on that. I love your manner where you were not worrying about the rest of us looking in and watching. We were observing you sharing directly with John. How many times do evaluators come on and say, and he did this and he did that? He's here. He's here. Speak to him. And that's beautifully demonstrated the way you did it, directly and thoughtfully. We got to witness a very smooth, clear and honest evaluation. Thank you, Nicole. That finishes our evaluations and moves us into the timer. Could you put in the times for the evaluators, please? And could we have the poll up for the evaluators? Here we go. Best effort evaluator. I'm going to call on our grammarian, I do believe, to give the report. The timer has put all of the reports in, so that's beautifully done. Thank you, Irene. Madam Grammarian, could you please give us your report? Gerda?
Thank you, General Evaluator. And here is my report. I have heard the word of the day 9 times. And it was well used that way. I have also heard some wonderful uses of phrases. And here they are. And I think it was Nikhita when she was giving her speech, and she said, and to me, it sounded like it was something for us to all listen to, but not only listen to, but I felt it, to restore balance and to reawaken true stillness within. I love that. I love that John also mentioned wishing you all garbage-free interactions. Also love that. I also heard a sentence, and I know that sentence because the way it was used, it feels to me that it is used in the coaching industry. The more fragile life be, the more precious it is. And this is my report. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. That was beautifully done, Gerda. I get to take a couple minutes at the moment to give a view of the overall of the meeting as well. The heart of leadership, qualities that matter. What a beautiful theme that was. And we all had a chance to think about just exactly what is it that we stand for. Brahm for integrity, me for always finding a little way to insert humor, and so on. And we had a demonstration of the thoughtfulness of everyone here. When you come to leadership speak, you get engaged, you get involved, you give evaluations. I popped a couple of my evaluations publicly, hoping to encourage others to get involved a little bit more, do a little more evaluation of everyone, or send it to them privately. Irene, as the Sergeant at Arms, you were right on. I was halfway through a sentence and, excuse me, Sandra Valks, and the time is on. You were bold and you just did it. And also to step in as timer. That's beautifully, beautifully done. Thank you so much. You do have lots of confidence to just know you step in, you do the job. If you want to worry about something, you worry about it later. The introduction of Rozy was very gracious and complete. And Rozy going into head, heart, and humility, the way you handled the entire internet break was so beautifully done. We can learn just from watching how you come in, step in, and carry on, and you'll be evaluated. I guess I should have called those evaluations first, shouldn't I? Oh, no, they're all done. Rozy, when the link dropped, Brahm stepped in with finesse, did it professionally, and still with some gentleness. Another quality for leaders to develop, because we moved from that boss idea to the servant idea. And I liked that. Brahm, there was a shift in your approach today, and I enjoyed it. It's still efficient, it's still professional, but it's a little gentler. Rozy, you moved seamlessly back in to complete your important theme setting, so you didn't just drop it, you went back in and finished it because it was important. Thank you so much, Brahm, for stepping in when I had messed up there. I had all my papers going here and doing my evaluations, and you just very quietly just came in and said, no, didn't have it. Oh yes, thank you very much. And that is the professional way, just to step in. I think the meeting today was absolutely marvelous, and we're pretty close to on time. I'm going to call on Lydia for our thought of the day.
Madam,
what did I miss?
that will be the Toastmaster of the day, according to the agenda. Toastmaster of the day will do that. Plus, you didn't call me after the grammarian. which is on the agenda. Freudian slip, I believe.
Grammarian?
After the grammarian, you should have called me. It's on the agenda. Have a look at the agenda.
I'm looking at the agenda.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it. But anyhow, go ahead, Brahm. I'll call you up.
Thank you. So perhaps you may not have the latest agenda. You probably printed that about a week ago. I don't know.
No, not a week ago, but I was working on it yesterday. But anyway.
Oh, okay. So it's there somewhere. So anyways, at this point in time, when I'm called, you see that it says trainer over there. Brahm Memone is a trainer. And what we are basically doing in this club, this for the benefit of the guests, is that we are making sure that we train our evaluators and speakers to get to the next level of critical thinking. And hence this particular segment here to make sure that we are doing that, because it's an advanced club. Now, today I wasn't feeling well, so I wasn't really paying much attention. I was trying my best to hang on and try and evaluate Rozy. But see, I'm coughing. Sorry, my French. So what I want to say is let's incorporate the critical thinking in our evaluations and in our speaking as well. The club contest is coming up in January. Now, it'll be only at the club level because it doesn't go to the area level, being an online club. You all know the rules about that from Toastmasters International. So I would hope and I would love to see every one of you do critical thinking in your presentation, in the contest when you do your presentation. Because, you won't really end up at your district level or whatever in your home district levels. Some of you might even end up at the international level, right? So if you want to do that, if you want to speak powerfully and confidently, then critical thinking is very, very important, which was mentioned by our Toastmaster of the day as well, as part of the qualities of a leader, where you are seen as a leader, you are heard as a leader, hence the name Leadership Speak. With all that, having said that, good luck to all, and I will be available to coach everyone for the contest coming up in January. There'll be 3 sessions, because there's about 19, 20 people who want to be in the contest. So we'll have semifinals and the finals. Having said that, back to you, Madam G. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brahm. I had done the agenda yesterday, I guess, and that was tailed at the end, so I have to apologize for that. I like that it was just short and sweet as well, and just in on one point, which was the critical thinking and bringing it in, and how we're going to be preparing ourselves for the International Speech Contest. With that, I am going to hand it over to our Toastmaster of the day to bring in our thought of the day and wind us up. Rozy.
Thank you very much, Sandra, for that very insightful feedback session. There's so much to learn from you and from all our evaluators, and I'm confident that the speakers have much to take away and grow from. I appreciate that. At this stage, I would like to invite the Zoom master to share the awards just before I invite Lydia to deliver the thought of the day. Let us see if we have our best speaker, our best effort speaker, and our best effort evaluators. Zoom master?
Are you ready, Dan?
Sorry?
Just give me 1 minute, because I think Dan was preparing. I have prepared also. I'll share just now. I'll just share.
Actually, the awards come after the thought of the day, according to the agenda.
Okay. Then in that case, allow me to carry on with the thought of the day and give Paranjit a bit more time to work on that. Now, to add the final stroke on the masterpiece meeting, allow me to invite Lydia to deliver today's thought of the day. Lydia, please add this final brush stroke. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam TMOD. As I think about our theme today, the heart of leadership, qualities that truly matters, I clearly think on qualities like integrity, empathy, resilience, and critical thinking. Integrity builds trust. When your team knows that you're honest, reliable, they feel secure. and they will follow you as you accomplish your vision. Resilience, it enables leaders to navigate challenges, gracefully turning obstacles to opportunities for growth. And empathy. Empathy fosters connection, allowing leaders to understand and support their team's needs. As our TMOD quoted Stephen Covey, who said that you seek first to understood, then to be understood. You seek first to understand and then to be understood. Now, importantly, critical thinking. It is just as important as it empowers leaders to be self-directed leaders. And you are able to accomplish what you're supposed to do. The heart of leadership is about serving others with authenticity and purpose while helping them so that they are able to fulfill their dreams. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, let's commit ourselves as we embrace to the heart of leadership with the quality that really matters. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you very much, Lydia, for beautifully encapsulating the essence of today's meeting and delivering, a summary in such a short and beautiful manner. Thank you. Now I'd like to invite our Zoom master to kindly share the awards. Let's recognize our best effort speaker and our best effort evaluator. Ladies and gentlemen, John Ojeifo was our best effort speaker today, telling us how to live garbage-free. Thank you, John. And our best effort evaluator, Rivero, who beautifully shared how Nikhita delivered her speech with grace and elegance. Thank you very much, and congratulations to all speakers, all evaluators, and particularly to the best effort ones. Ladies and gentlemen, it now leaves me to thank every one of you for today's meeting. I'm honored and delighted to have been your Toastmaster. As we leave today and as you reflect upon today's meeting and the heart of leadership, the qualities that matter, I ask you, I encourage you, I invite you to reflect upon your lives and ask yourselves, what qualities do I need to strengthen? What qualities do I need to develop so that I can make greater impact and make meaningful change? Take these lessons beyond this meeting, because this meeting is only a platform for learning, for knowledge, but knowledge is only power when it is applied. As you set your goals for 2025, focus on the qualities that will make you a better, a more powerful leader. Thank you for your energy, thank you for your participation, and thank you for your commitment to growth. With that, I
Hang a second.
adjourn the meeting and pass it back.
No. Hello.
Yes,
You
yes,
can't
yes.
adjourn
Tell
the
me.
meeting. You
Who
have
do
to
I?
call. Let's follow the agenda.
Who have I left, Brahm, on the agenda?
So after the thought of the day, you would have called the president, and then
Yes,
you would have done
that's
your closing remarks. It's on the
so
agenda.
I was just inviting you now to take over for the guests. Did I miss something?
Yeah, you don't adjourn the meeting until after I've addressed, and then I hand it back to you to do the closing remarks, and then you can adjourn.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
see. I thought the president adjourns and finishes off the meeting, but completely understood. Over to you, Mr. President, to welcome and invite the guests to give their comments.
Thank you. Thank you. It's all right. It's sometimes we get a bit very excited about the meetings. So having said that, we have a few guests here that I've never spoken to before, or one of them that I've seen here before a long time ago, Rosemary Sweeney. Hello, Rosemary, are you there? All right, then we have Ramu Garapati. Hi, Ramu. It's been
Hey, Brahm.
Hey, can you put on your video, Ramu? Are you able to do that?
No, I'm not. I am doing multiple things right now. I am the district director for District 36. John
I see.
Ojeifo is from my district. We are in the metropolitan Washington, D.C. area. The reason I attended this meeting was to hear John's speech as well as to hear what great things your club is doing. I do not get a chance to visit clubs because I'm so busy with my district activities. But
For
I
sure.
see that this club is a very multicultural and highly multinational club, and you guys are, I want to use the word of the day, using finesse in conducting a club meeting. So, congratulations, and this is inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramu, and you're welcome to join us again whenever you can with your busy schedule. And as a district director, to see you here is amazing because district directors are always busy, especially on Saturday. So thank you for being here. Our next guest here is Satish Kandambeth, if I can pronounce that correctly. Satish, are you there? Having said that, then we have Rosemary Sweeney. Anyway, are you there? If not, I think the rest of them are our usual guests who are here. No, Winnie. Winnie Kodawa. Hey, Winnie, how are you? Habari yako? Karibu.
Nzuri sana. Thank you so much, DTM. Brahm, it's a great pleasure to be here. I always enjoy being in the meeting. I learn a lot. Thank you so much for how the meeting is handled and even the great planning that goes behind the scenes. The evaluations are impeccable. I get to learn so much. And our general evaluator today, Sandra, was very well detailed. I enjoy the speeches together with our Toastmaster of the day, DTM Rozy Rana. Thank you so much for this meeting session. Back to you, Brahm.
Winnie, you have to become a coffee drinker. You know, Dorman's coffee is the drink, national drink. It's an international drink for the world. So, coffee.
Perhaps a trip to Dorman's factory will change my mind, Rozy.
One of these days, you're very welcome. It would be my pleasure to arrange.
So, are you thinking of becoming a member here, Winnie?
I'm already in 2 clubs. It may be a bit challenging. What I can do is I can just continue being a visiting Toastmaster.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Thank you very much. And please do come, yeah, as regularly as you can with a cup of dormants in your hand. Thank you, Asante-san. I see that there's a message from Rosemary Sweeney in the chat. She says her background is too noisy, so she can't speak to us. But the entire meeting was handled with finesse. Thank you, Rosemary, and haven't seen you in a while, so I hope you can come back. Are you thinking of a membership, or you just dropped in today? Put that in the chat for us. Having said that, I will now hand this back to our Toastmaster of the day to adjourn the meeting with her last remarks.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President. And I really love the way that all the guests are made to feel so welcome. I do have a confession. I'm one of those bad ones. And today I was caught and slapped on the wrist because I tend to leave just before the end of the meeting. And I have always left it to the president. So today, thank you for holding me to account and making me to stay on to the end. So ladies and gentlemen, I challenged you to reflect upon the qualities that you need to develop to make greater impact and to make meaningful change. I think that is the last powerful message that I wish to live with you. 2025 is just around the corner. Let's enjoy our holidays, let's enjoy our Christmas. But as we get to this holiday season, start thinking ahead of the goals. Develop those qualities. Focus on setting goals, setting steps to achieve those goals, and making sure that the qualities that count, the essential qualities that will make you a better leader, are factored in your goals. With that, I thank you again for your energy, for your participation. Thank you, Brahm, for sharing, for correcting, for guiding us. And with that, it is my pleasure now to thank the guests yet again for being here. Please do not forget to fill in the guest book. We want to connect with you. And I now, with the power that has been vested to me by the president, adjourn today's meeting.